What's good, YouTube? I'm feeling good today. I took wake up. Oh my goodness!
That's all, folks.
I woke up. I took a shower. I washed my butt. I went to class. I hated class, but I did my schoolwork, and now I'm here. I'm making a video for y'all. It's good to see y'all. Good morning. I hope you washed your butt this morning too. But anyway, I'm gonna do like a quick little tips and tricks video for y'all today. Don't ask me why I got my headphones on like this. This is just how I roll. Mind your business. I asked you guys on my Instagram, which is aye.shark. I'm gonna find a way to put that somewhere on the. I'm pointing the wrong way. Somewhere on the screen. I don't know where it'll be. It'll also be in the link in the description. I asked y'all like, what questions do y'all have for producers, or like what tips and tricks do y'all have for melodies, drums, overall workflow, anything in that range. I'm gonna answer it today. I'm also do like little quick breakdowns for y'all to like further explain what I'm talking about. We just gonna hop right into it. I'm gonna just answer the first question. So I got my phone here with the question. Can you see that? You see what I'm saying? Okay. This is like 2-in-1. It's from my boy Jammin. Shout out my boy. I'm gonna put his name somewhere. If I can't, I'm gonna just link everybody's name in the description because I'm not editing savvy. I'm just not starting to do this, but I'm trying to put out quality for y'all. And he said how to make shit from scratch better.
What?
And then shout out Pride Comedy, my boy from Divers. He said how to make better glow melodies. So with these, here I can better explain this by showing y'all my Megalodon sound kit. The way I did the midis section. So you see how I have counter melodies, main melodies, melody bass lines in here. I always start out my melodies with a melody bass line. I'm just gonna load in a brass preset, put this in practicality. Go and listen to all your favorite songs and listen specifically to the melody. Each melody has a bass line to that melody. There's a bass line in the drums, which is usually the 808 or the kick, and then there's a bass line to the melody, which is like the low end instruments. Could be a bass, could even be a piano playing some lower notes, could be the brass, could be some strings. And so I'm gonna drag in a MIDI here from the kit. I'm gonna grab this purified one. And okay, so I'm gonna just put it up an octave, take this one out. Like I was saying, every single melody starts off with a bass line. And so from this melody sounding like this, I can then go drag in another brass shot. Now I'm able to build off of that. So whatever I hear from this bass line, I can just, be creative and add some notes and see what works out. And then you'll eventually get a melody out of that. So I already got an idea. As you can see from there, I've already gotten a good bass for the melody. Got the melody bass line. And then with this on top of it. And so with those two together, you got this. And you're probably already creatively thinking in your head like ways or instruments to add. Like me personally, I'm hearing strings, so like something like, I don't know. I know it sounds dumb right here, but when you put it into the piano roll, you can create, and you know like your like your creative process goes in motion. Get the melody bass line down, and then you'll be able to create better melodies. And that's how I make all of my stuff from scratch. I even show you an X8 example. This is like more virtual melodies. Hold on, give me a second. All right, so here's an example with virtual or like X8 type of melodies. This was like really popular back earlier in the year, and all of these melodies sound exactly the same. They're in like 7th chords, I think that's what it's called. Anyways, click one note, go up 7, and then click another note, then go up 7 and just strum it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we're gonna go, first note I'm gonna put at C4. So I'm gonna take this, drag it, and hold shift to duplicate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm gonna put that over here and kind of create this effect. You kind of see how that's going? And so now I'm gonna click, hold shift to duplicate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so now you already got that. You can kind of see where I'm going with this. And so the bass line in here, it starts up. I'm gonna copy it over with Control B, and I'm gonna go down 4. And now you get this. That's already a good melody right there. If you want to spice things up a little bit, you can do this. And that'll sound good in any pitch as well. I'm gonna put it on F4. And if you're wondering what that sound is, this is in my Atlas Serum Bank I did with Prod Nova. Shout out, bro. We made this kit like way back early in the year. My point here is always set up a melody bass line or something to go off of so that your creativity can have something to reference. So you have this point down, you can say, oh, okay, here I need a pad, oh, this needs a lead, or something similar to that. Once you get this melody bass line down, you'll always have something to go off of. Okay, so I got the next question here. A lot of these questions were revolving around like melodies and things of that sort. So I'm gonna kind of stick to that. I kind of compiled all those into one question. Shout out my boy DJ Impossible. He says better melodies for real. So how can he make better melodies? My last point that I just explained, always having a melody bass line. On top of that, sound selection. Sound selection is the biggest thing when it comes to making quality melodies. There's a reason why people invest so much into having hardware, into having the latest synths, into having the latest presets. It's because those presets are cultivated and forged for whatever sound that you are trying to make. And so it's way easier and faster for you to make great melodies if you have a great sound selection. This was the main driver for my Megalodon sound kit. This was the sound selection for Globies. This is the original FS brass that's in Roland Phantom and Contact. And all of these other brasses are different versions of brasses that are used often in, dang that's loud. All these different brasses are used often in glow melodies. So I therefore put them in a kit, which will make making glow melodies, for example, way easier for you guys to do because you have the sound selection for it. I also put the best strings in here, strings that I use, you name it is in here. I also put the best drums sounds. You gotta have the right glow 808s or just 808s in general to make whatever type of beat that you're looking to make. I'll give you an example. If you make glow beats and you've been making glow beats for a minute, you know about this 808. Or here's another version of it. Everyone knows that 808. That 808 kind of just goes hand in hand. Swish Beats, he made it popular. So now, it's better to use an 808 like this in a glow beat as compared to something like this in a glow beat. Or even, like, yeah, you can probably get away with it. It's not gonna give you that same effect if you were to use a better sound, in other terms, sound selection. If you want better melodies, you either have to invest, it means you have to spend money on it. If you don't have the money, you gotta do some footwork and find your own sounds. Find those sounds that you're looking for. It's gonna take you a while, but that's the key to it. You gotta find those sounds that all your favorite producers are using. It's all about sound selection for better melodies. All right, so for the next question, shout out my boy Sati. That's my boy from day one, really, like with college, high school, whatever you want to talk about. He been there. Well, everyone's Instagram will be linked in the description. He asked how to solve beat block. It's always gonna be there. There's always some form of creator's block, and all creators do work for it. Your favorite producer probably has had beat block, or it probably has beat block right now. You just have to work through it. Make a different type of beat. Use different sounds. Try different plugins. Try sampling something. Go on YouTube to MP3 or whatever you need to do. Just sample and flip the sample. Flip it into something crazy. Go with a mariachi sample and flip it into some crazy drill techno flip. You know, just do something to get your mind from thinking the exact same way. Because 9 times out of 10, when you having beat block is you're using the same creative tools and expecting a different result. And that's kind of the definition of insanity. Insanity is when you do the exact same thing but expect a different result. You have to think outside of the box. Me personally, every day I at least make 2 beats and 2 melodies. They can get boring making glow all the time, so I'll make some dark trap junk. I'll make some Afrobeat. I'll make some drum and bass. I'll make some techno. I'll make some virtual beats, you know, anything. I'll go and sample something. And do anything you can to get your mind from thinking the exact same way at every single time. All right, so for the next question, nvrmet.lego. I'm just gonna say never met Lego. Appreciate you for, responding to the question. He says, how do you find your own style? What I did to find my own style. And shout out to Kid Hazel. I was watching an interview with Producer Grind on Producer Grind's interview channel. And shout out Producer Grind. They drop gems all the time. But what he says to do, what he said he did to find his own sound was he compiled all of his favorite sounds and all this, whatever sounds he used all the time in all of his beats, and he compiled them into one kit. And he used that kit for 6+ months to really develop his sound. So what I did, the Megalodon kit is like my stash kit. These are all of these sounds that I use on a day-to-day basis with my beats. I literally use all of these 808s, and you can hear them in my beats. I use all of these claps. I use all of these hi-hats. I use all of these open, etc. I use each and every one of those sounds and midis and everything in this kit on a daily basis to make my beats. From doing that, I've created my own sound. Everyone knows one of my beats, not everyone, but the people in my community know my beats, how like melodic the glow sounds with my beats. I've literally been using this kit since January of this year. I started compiling it around like end of December. And so started January, I was, using it, adding sounds to it. But that whole time of me using it and putting out beats and trying new chord progressions with this kit to see how I can stretch it, see how much usability I can get out of it, that whole time I was creating a sound. So now people hear my glow beats and they're like, oh, okay, that's a shark beat. And that's what I'm known for. And so that's how you create your own sound. To pick whichever niche you like. It can be Drake type beats. That's not even a niche no more. That's a general market. Take all your favorite sounds that Drake type beats use, all his producers, find all of those sounds, find all the pianos, chord, kicks, snares, whatever it is, perks, and use those, create those type of beats and do something unique within those type of beats for 6 months. And I promise you, you will have a distinguishable sound within your beats. All right, so this last question is from my boy TC Beats. Shout out TC. He's asking, how do you do your drums? And there's another question, my boy Bigo, Smile Bigo, but he's asking, how do you make bounce and shit? I'm gonna pull up one of my beats and I'm gonna show y'all how I do my drums. All right, so I'm gonna just play it and let y'all see, kind of how my drum bounce is. When I do my drums, I'm listening for like pockets in the melody. because the melody already has a whole lot of rhythm in it. Shout out my boy Michi for the loop, by the way. I'm listening for pockets in the melody where I can add drums or add emphasis to certain parts in the melody. Because really your drums are accents to the melody. The melody is what keeps people's ear, and the drums is what entertains people. There's a mutual respect between the drums and the melody whenever you're making a beat. And so I'll play the melody so you guys can hear that. You hear that high pitched like whistle thing? Dun, 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 dun. That's like the wave of the melody. That's like keeping everything, you know, like jiggy in a way. To accent that, I put the clap in there and the hats. Like the clap and the hats really drive that like flavor in that melody. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is my pattern with just the claps and the hats playing in the background. So you see how I left a space there and this clap is not hitting on the regular thing? From the melody told me to just move this clap away over here so I can put some snares there to further accent that transition from the first half of the melody to this part of the melody. And it also further accents that dun, 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 and brings you into the next part of the beat. Okay, so from there I added like 3 or 4 different snares and claps and open hats just to further catch that bounce of that high pitch in the melody. And so I did all of that to accent that certain part because that was the most fire part in the melody for me. And I added these 2 snares in here which respond to that clap that I dragged back over here. So I'm gonna play it so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. You see how the claps and the open hats, they all accent that dun 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 dun, and it adds to that like wave effect in the beat. So you got the simple 2-step that and then this open hat comes in like and so it makes it sound like it's drums. It's like this. It gives you like more flow in your drums. And I also have that shaker in there which adds that like effect to it. I don't even know how to explain it, but it kind of just added another like effect of rhythm to the melody and with the drums. This 3 crash right here also accents that snare and that clap that passed over there. All together again that sounds like this. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I also put this scratch effect on there. It needed it, I heard it, and I added it. Like that. This scratch right here adds effect right before the sound goes dun 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 dun. It goes ding dun. Like I'll just play it so you can hear what I'm talking about. You see what I mean? It's all accenting that one piece of the melody which wraps everything else together. And for my 808s literally just match the brass in the sample. So I'm actually gonna mute the 808 right quick. The brass in the sample starts up here, dun, and then it goes low down here, dun, and I'm gonna play it. Still in this area. Goes down. And so now I'm gonna unmute the 808, and this is what the 808 sounds like. That it's literally just there accenting. you're wondering like where I place my 808s, the reason I place my 808s in certain spots, because these 808s accent the rhythm of the drums as well as the melody. So it all creates one simultaneous call and response effect. It just wraps up your full beat and makes it bouncy drums. So, all right, that's it for this video. Pretty much everyone just had relatively the same questions. I just kind of bulked them all together. Thank you for asking the questions in the I don't know what it's called, but I posted on my story and y'all responded. I appreciate y'all so much for that. Hopefully I was able to educate y'all a little bit on how I do beats, so you guys can take that and use it in your beats, or any tips that I gave you guys that you guys can turn around and use them in yours, and you guys can start making crazy stuff. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys, for real. We just hit 500 subs, and that's so crazy to me, that there's 500 of y'all that just, you know, take the time out of your day to subscribe to the video. So once again, I just want to say thank y'all. If you guys like this type of video, you know, like the video, ask more questions. I'm going to be putting polls like this up every 2 weeks, so you guys have different questions to ask me. If you want to know more about me personally, like if you want to know, I don't know, my favorite color, what I like to eat, we can talk about stuff like that. I don't mind. Go check out that Megalodon sound kit. It's really the best glow sound kit that you can buy. It's on the market right now. I'll leave a link for that in the description. Friday I'll be releasing a glow loop kit. It'll have 20 plus glow loops that are ready to go, ready to use, ready to drag and drop. They have the BPM, the key. I also put a little drum stash in there so that you guys can just use the same kit to put some fire drums on there. When that drops, I'll put a link for that in the description. For real, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Be easy.